I want to give you some advice on what I personally have done to take a small side project or thing that I was working on and turning it into a full growing company. I hope you learned something from this. Hey everybody, welcome back to the Matterhorn Business Development YouTube channel. My name is Neil Winteregg. I am your host here today. And today I want to talk to you about personal experience that I had over the last several years of building a business outside of the Matterhorn network that me and Abby have. Kind of how I took that from a small side project or side hustle, as we say, into a growing, rapidly expanding full-time operation. When COVID hit, I was on the road several days a week lecturing for one of my dad's companies. I was out pretty routinely for those days. I had been doing that for years, where I would leave on a certain day of the week, come home on a certain day of the week, lecture on certain days. And that was what took the majority of my attention. When I wasn't doing that, I was working with my dad and Abby here at Matterhorn and doing videos and doing things of that nature. So I kind of had time split up amongst several things. When COVID happened and we weren't traveling anymore, I had several days a week where I wasn't really doing anything because I used to be on the road and now I'm not. So I decided to start a business with a guy that I knew who sold home water filtration systems and things of that nature. And I had worked with him in his business at one point. We were helping him at Matterhorn and we had known him for a long time. I knew more about what he did than the average person kind of did. I always looked at it as a big opportunity and I thought, you know what, there's really something here. And so when I all of a sudden had this time on my hands, I worked out an arrangement with him where I would work with him. I had my own company name and I sold his equipment and worked with him. And we had a great partnership going. And it was sort of my side hustle. I would put some posts up on Facebook about it. People would call me. I would have some referrals coming in. I had to Google my business page. I'd get some business from there. But it was never my full-time job. And I did pretty well doing it that way, where kind of on the weekend or my Fridays and Saturdays, I was doing my water things. And if my phone rang in the middle of the week and I was working on other stuff, I would get to it on those days and all that. And I did okay, but I always knew that there was more potential sitting there. I kind of took my attention off of it for a little bit and it was still going, but I was really focused on other business projects and other things and et cetera, et cetera. Well, finally last year I said, you know what, this really could be a really big business. How do I make this a big business? And I sat down and I looked at my strengths and weaknesses. My strengths in every business that I'm a part of or job that I've had is customer service, sales, meeting people, talking to people, networking, problem solving for customers, all that type of stuff. What I was bad at was how to actually get a proper website, how to actually market, how to get the finances in order, how to have all this other stuff taken care of. The back end side of things was never my strength. And I noticed that I needed that handled so I had more time to go out and meet with people and talk to people and do what I do. So when I decided to really make it a big thing, I reached out to a friend and brought a partner on that I knew that type of stuff. And it was a great arrangement because what he wants to do is own multiple businesses and run the back end stuff. And he said, listen, I don't want to be running out to clients' homes and customers and talking to people and solving problems because I don't know that stuff. I said, great, that's my job. I don't want to do the back end stuff. So it was a perfect partnership. So we decided to make our own company together and really grow it. He worked on the website. He got the whole website done. He did all that stuff. While he was doing that and working on Google and marketing and the long-term stuff of future growth, I focused on the short-term stuff of relationship building, putting up Facebook posts, meeting with old customers, current clients, getting referrals. And we started getting business from that side. Then all of a sudden the website took off, the SEO took off, and we had both working together. Now I'm focusing on, if you'll see my other video, which was all about relationship building and referral building, I'm focusing on clients' needs, referral needs, building business relationships with other like-minded individuals. But I really had to decide to make it that way. And honestly, up until 6, 7, 8 months ago, I had time in my schedule where, let's say it was like, okay, well, what am I going to do this morning? I don't have any appointments this morning. I don't have anything to do this morning. And so I would just like sit down at my computer and send emails out to people who I'd spoke to previously, send text messages to people I spoke to previously, try and drum up business from somewhere. But like, I kind of had to like sit down and figure out like, well, what am I going to do? I had open time in my schedule. I really decided to take that open time and just dedicate it to this new business, dedicate it to the water side of things. And when I really just sat down and focused all my efforts and energies into that, all of a sudden my schedule just started filling up. My phone started ringing, everything started happening. And it's funny, I would talk to somebody that I know and I'd say, yeah, I went out and I helped this client with this thing. And I would go out and I would help a problem with a client. And maybe I spent an hour and a half out there. And they say, oh, how much did you charge me? I said, I didn't charge them anything. I just went out there to help them solve a problem. Maybe it was related to the water. Maybe it was related to something else. They thought they had a leak in their house and I showed up, found out that there wasn't a leak. But I went out there and I took time and I really did that. And I didn't charge them anything for that. A friend was like, well, why wouldn't you charge them for your time? I'm like, I was already there. I was already down the street. Like, so what? Well, all of a sudden, they have a referral for me. All of a sudden, this other person that I helped with something that I didn't charge them for because it was just like, whatever. All of a sudden, they have a referral for me. So my whole job just became problem solving, helping people. And I have turned my quote unquote side hustle into something that's really on the launch pad and taking off very quickly in the last couple of months because of that mentality. But I had to get over the idea that it was just on the side. And I had to make a decision that I wanted to make it full time as far as handling this and doing this for my clients. So what I would say is if you've got this side hustle and you're trying to decide what to do, you first off have to really ask yourself, is this what I want to do? Because there was a lot of times where I thought my side hustle isn't really doing anything for me. Should I really put any time into it? And I thought, you know what? It really is something I want to do. I enjoy it. I like what I'm doing. And because of that drive, I just decided to take it and make it full time and make it something that was really successful. In the last 3-4 months, all this stuff that I've been doing here and there in the background over several years, and then bringing in a partner to help me with the areas I didn't know how to handle, that has just taken the company to a point where I really now see that the things I thought were possible several years ago or 6 months ago are now happening and are 100% possible to do. So if you have a side project or you have this idea and you don't know what to do with it, you have to sit down and ask yourself, is it worth it? What can the payoff really be? How much work is really going to go into it? Don't just look at it as the idea of, oh, well, I can make $1 million. That's not the reason to do something. You have to really love and enjoy what it is that you're doing and figure out how to get there. It's all these little steps and all these ideas of, should I throw in the towel, that you have to get over? Because there were plenty of times I thought, it's just not worth it. But then I thought, well, what else could I do where I work for myself and I have the ability to set my own schedule and I have everything in place? What isn't making it go? Oh, I need this website, I need this done, I need this done. So I found the missing pieces and brought them all together into a workable system. And now it's taking off to where it's now what I saw it could be. And it's growing faster than I thought it could. But you have to figure out all those missing things and all those missing elements and decide for yourself that this small thing that you've been working on, is it really what I want to do? And if it is what you want to do it. But if you sit there and think, well, it's not really what I want to do, then stop. Don't put more time and effort and energy into it. But then at a certain point, you have to decide that it goes from part-time to full-time. And you have to make that decision and make it really function. Those are my thoughts. I hope this was beneficial to you. If it is, leave your comments down below. Check out our Adventure to Profit program and be sure you check out our channel sponsors over at MetaPulse. Because if you have something that you're trying to grow, metapulse.com is an option for you to actually get the help that you need and make it full-time. I'll see you next time.